Hi everyone, I'm Matty O'Boyle with Realear.com. Welcome to the screencast. The screencast is for folks playing the Scottish Highland Bagpipe and how to set up the Microtone ear training web app so you can get the exact pitches on your bagpipe and you can do melodic ear training. Let's get into it. So just very briefly in general, the Microtone ear training web app looks a lot like and functions exactly like the Melody ear training web app. It just has some extras in it. Okay, so the idea behind the Melody ear training web app is you choose the musical variables that you want to work on and only the ones that you want to work on. So you're working on exactly what you need right now in your ear training development. And then when you hit play, you are going to hear melodic phrases that are based on your choices and you play them back in time. Okay, the number of repetitions by default is set at 2, so you'll hear a phrase, play it back, hear the same phrase, play it back, and then the next phrase will be new. That's what's meant by number of repetitions at 2. If you're just getting into ear training, I would leave that. Next, you select your musical variables. We're going to jump into that in a second, and then you would hit play and you'd get your dictations. Let's go. Highland bagpiping. So for Highland bagpiping, we're going to need first we can just go to our presets. And if you scroll down in presets under European, you can see that we have 3 presets for Highland bagpipes. Most folks will probably be just using just intonation. Okay, just intonation are pure frequency ratios and they come from the harmonic series, and most folks probably have heard of that or really know a lot about it, maybe even more than me. So anyway, just intonation is very common in Highland bagpiping. It is possible that you'll have to adjust a few of the pitches depending on how your chanter is actually tuned. But you can either tune the pitches to your chanter, and we'll see that in a minute, or you can tune the chanter to your pitches, and you already know how to do that with tape. So let's jump in. The first thing we need the right reference note. As you can see, by default, our reference note is at C, but we don't want C. So some chanters are made in A. If you just have a chanter that's made at 440 hertz in A, then you're all set. You might have a chanter that's made in B flat. Now that would be A sharp, or if you think in flats, you can just put it at B flat. That'd be 466 hertz. And if that's what your chanter is made in, and that's the frequency you're playing at and tuning to, then you are all set to go. We're going to look at a couple anomalies in a second. But first, I just want to cover that we do have a couple of other presets that come from historical work done on how bagpipes have been tuned in the past. And actually, for bagpipers, I really recommend this article that's published on a website of the Western University in London, Ontario, in Canada. They have this awesome, the pitch and scale of the Great Highland Bagpipe, Ewan McPherson's article from 1998, and this is really cool. I would read all this. It's pretty cool. But if you scroll down, you have a tuning table, and in the tuning table, you can actually see some of the differences in just intonation, McNeil's intonation, and harmonic Ds and Gs. So really useful, really fascinating. I highly recommend it. So let's go back here. If you wanted to play in McNeil or in harmonic Ds and Gs, you simply select the preset and you are ready to go. Everything adjusts. Now, if you're just getting into ear training, and if you're just getting into piping, we're going to have to cover one thing really quickly, and that is the differences between these pitches. The boxes that are up here are the pitches that are on the piano, and the distance between any 2 notes on the piano is equal. Okay, the distance between D flat and D is the same as between any other G flat and G. It's always the same between G and A flat. And that distance has arbitrarily been measured in cents, and there's 100 cents between notes. Okay, and that's really important. Why? Because as you can see here in our presets, we have a lot of pitches that are selected that are not boxes. They are these little plus signs underneath. We open that up, and these are the notes, these are the pitches that we can find between these pitches on the piano, they're the notes that fall in the cracks of the piano. And these are microtones. And this is what, in a lot of cases, we're going to need to adjust in order to be able to have the correct frequencies for our ear training on the Highland bagpipes. Let's get into it. By default, the number of microtones to display is at 3, which means if I open a microtone box, I get 3 choices. Bagpipers, we're not going to really need 3 choices there. We'll probably just need 1 in just about every situation. So now when I open that, I'll only get 1. Okay, good. So, next thing you want to know, if you're playing above B flat, for example, if you're not tuned to 466, if you're playing in a band that's tuning to 480, for example, then this is still going to be out of tune with your chanter and your drones. So we're going to have to make some adjustments. All right. How do you do that? Well, I use this handy calculator over here at singplaudio.com. And there's a lot of calculators here, but you just got to scroll down and you get to this one, frequency to musical note converter. So in our hypothetical example here, we're playing at 480. We put 480 in the frequency, and what note is that? Okay, so that's a B4. The closest note on the piano would be a B4, but it's really 49 cents flat of B4, which is another way of saying it's 51 cents sharp of B flat 4. Did you get that? That's important. Let's go back here. It's 51 cents sharp of B flat. Okay, so I open that up, 51 cents. Now, this pitch here should correspond to my, my A, which is really my B flat, which is really my sharp B flat on the Highland bagpipe. And of course, you'd want to do the same here. And those 2 notes are taken care of. Now, it's obvious what you would do here. You would just add 51 to 4 and you'd go to 55. Okay, so let's do that. But now let's look at how we would adjust some of these other pitches. Let's take this pitch here, this which is really a D, which might be a C depending on how you're talking about it. But anyway, this is at 98. But this was at 98 with 466 hertz here. But now we're at 480. We need to add 51. Well, to add 51, if we just add 2, we get to the E flat. Right? So we need to add 2 and we get to E flat. And then to add 51, we've already added 2, so we just need to add 49 more. Now this is the correct pitch. Did you see how that works? Sometimes when you're adjusting a pitch, if the distances are big, if there's a lot of sense, you're going to have to cross different notes. And that happens. So that's something to be aware of. And but however much you have to make adjustments, you will get the exact frequencies that you need to do your melodic ear training. Okay, last thing I want to talk about really quickly is if you're doing ear training and you're just starting out, this is way too many pitches for you. Let's just go back here to just intonation. Let's put it in A. And this is way too many, right? So you're going to want to start small. And I would start with just 3 is even a lot. I would start with these 2, the A and the E. And then I would add, what was this? This had 86, I think it was. I'd add this 3rd one here. Whoops, I went past it, but this was at 86. Okay, so then you'd be set up, and then you might add the octave, and then you would blah 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 blah. You just keep adding notes back into it, and you have all the pitches here. So if you reset it and then go back to it, you'll see all those pitches again. Oh, the 86 was here. My mistake. Okay, so that's how you do it. And let's just, to finish this off, let's just hear a dictation with those 3 pitches on it. And then you repeat. Same phrase. You repeat. New phrase. You repeat. Same phrase. You repeat. And it'll just keep giving you new phrases limited to your choices. So it's limited to your choices of pitch, limited to your choices of what note duration that you want. You can add note durations, you can add rests, and of course you can adjust the metronome, which is up here. So you have all these different variables to play with, and that is going to really help you go further, faster, and reach all of your music goals. If anybody has any questions, you can always contact me through the Contact Us form on our website, realear.com, and good luck with your musical journey.